Good morning. Welcome to another One Mind meditation. And of course, welcome to Saturday morning. It is the weekend. I hope your week went really well, that you got to do all of the things you needed to get done this week, all your goals done, all your boxes checked. And if you haven't quite gotten around to everything, the week's not completely over. There might be a little bit of time for you to get around to what still needs to get done. Noah, very good morning. Happy Saturday. It's great seeing you. Hope that you are really well. Right, let's get into today's message. Our teacher for this week is Anita Moorjani. The message starts this way. Being the observer, having the ability to be the observer, is a kind of a superpower. Somebody, good morning, happy Saturday, it's great seeing you. When you feel something like anger wake up within you, are you already then acting from anger? Or do you observe how anger wakes up in your body? And do you become aware of how it wants you to act? Because when you're looking at the experience of anger as an observer, then you have a choice. You can choose to take the action that anger suggests, or you can decide that there might be a more helpful response. Anita Moorjani's thoughts for us today speak of a relationship to ego, and anger is just one example of how we can experience ego. She says, when we deny the ego, it will pop up unannounced and uncontrolled in all sorts of situations. But if we embrace the ego as a part of the reason we came into this life, then it doesn't need to keep surprising us by exploding at the most inopportune moments. She says, if you deny your ego, it will push back against you harder. The more you reject something, the more it fights back for its own survival. But when you can completely love your ego unconditionally and accept it as a part of how you express in this human body, you will no longer have a problem with it. The next thought from Anita Moorjani is, the more I love myself and embrace my ego, realizing it is a necessary part of being in the physical world, the easier it becomes for me to see myself beyond my ego and to become aware of my infinite self that includes my ego yet transcends it at the same time. Hey Charlene, good morning, happy Saturday. The last thought from Anita Moorjani today is, we choose to come here so that we can experience a reality of separation, and an ego is absolutely necessary to feel this reality and to experience these feelings. Without an ego, we would be back into a state of non-duality, the state of oneness, of pure consciousness. So, as a pure soul, as pure consciousness, Anita suggests that we then don't have an ego. But when we are born, ego is something we get to experience as part of having this body, almost like one of the senses that this body comes with. And it reminds me of how Eckhart Tolle says that when you are able to observe the ego's reaction, then you are not being controlled by it, but beginning to go beyond it. Today's meditation is not specifically about ego, but a really simple exercise in expanding your ability to be the observer. The more we practice taking a step back and observing our body's physical responses, the better we also become at being the observer of our inner senses, thoughts, feelings, and yes, ego. Don't go to war with ego. It will always fight back and you will never have peace. When being the observer of your emotions becomes your default way of being, then ego is never in control. Then actions begin to come from your soul. That deeper, wiser part of you that sees beyond the immediate drama of personality and circumstance. This doesn't mean you become emotionless or detached. Rather, you become more authentic, more present, and more capable of responding from love rather than fear. Today's journey is called Come to Your Senses, an opportunity to allow our physical senses to be felt. If you're ready, you can close your eyes and we'll float away together, starting with the first few big breaths. Let's take a deep breath in and out. Take a deep breath in and out. A deep inhale and let it go. Deep breath in and out. One more big breath in and let it all flow away. You can continue the same breathing pattern on your own time. Every slow inhale through your nose gets drawn all the way deep down into your belly. And as you fill up your belly with air, also raise yourself up. As you breathe in, stretch out your spine, lift the top of your head toward the ceiling. And once you've reached your full height, let all of it go. With every exhale, soften. With every breath out, soften your spine, slump down your shoulders, and even drop your head. Our journey today is checking in with this body and its physical senses. So we'll start checking in with this body right now. As you continue your full body breathing, and with your next exhale, as your body softens, bring your attention to your forehead, to the space between your eyes. Do you sometimes find that you are carrying a frown there? And when you do you remind your body to soften? With your next exhale, as your body softens, bring your attention to the area in and around your mouth. Do you sometimes find yourself grinding your teeth? Or perhaps your tongue pressed really hard against the roof of your mouth? Or your jaw muscles clenched tightly? And when you find yourself having that experience, do you have a conversation with this body? Do you let this body know that it is safe? With your next exhale, as your body softens, bring your attention to your neck and shoulders. Do you realize sometimes when you are carrying tension there? Do your shoulder muscles sometimes feel tight and your shoulders pulled up high? I often feel like we can pull our shoulders all the way up to our ears as we walk around with tension. And when you feel that, do you remember to take a few big breaths, to roll out your shoulder muscles, to help this body soften? With your next exhale, as your body softens, bring your attention to your stomach area. This is where tension hides the most effectively. We can carry tension there for decades without properly realizing it. When you find that you're carrying tension in your belly, do you stop to have a conversation with this body? Do you perhaps put your hands on your stomach, over your stomach area, and let this body know that right now, in this moment, it is safe, and that it would be safe to become softer? With your next exhale, bring your attention to your legs, your arms, and specifically your hands. Hands are also a place that tension can hide in clenched fists. Right now, are your hands relaxed? Are they lying half open in your lap? We'll take the last few big breaths of this phase together, helping this body stretch, adjust, and settle down into as much comfort as possible for the rest of our journey. Let's take a deep breath in. As you release, drop your head all the way forward and roll out your neck muscles forward and to the left, forward and to the right. Take a deep breath in. As you release, roll your shoulders forward in big, slow circles. Take a deep breath in. As you release, roll your shoulders backwards in big circles, nice and slow. Take a deep breath in. As you release, focus on your spine. Lean your upper body over to the left. Lean your upper body over to the right. One more big breath in. And as you release, you can stretch or move or adjust any part of your body that still needs a bit of help settling down. Having softened our bodies into a state of presence, or at least becoming as present as we possibly can be right now, we can now turn our attention inwards and dive deep inside for the next part of our journey. With every next inhale, we'll hold our breath for a few short moments, followed by a really long, really slow exhale. If you don't have the time to sit for the whole meditation with us, then this is always a good place to stop. But if you are here for the whole journey, we'll take the next few big breaths together. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, make it a really long, really slow exhale. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, feel into your body. Feel how softness slips into your body and settles in every part of your body. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, follow the downwards flow through your body. Feel your shoulders slowly falling. Feel your body slowly softening. And feel how you are slowly slipping deeper into you. One more big breath in and hold. And as you release, feel yourself melting. Feel your whole body dissolving. Feel how you are slipping into a deeper level of surrender with every slow exhale. You can continue the same breathing pattern on your own time. Every slow inhale through your nose gets drawn all the way deep down into your belly. And as you do, follow. Feel the air flow in through your nostrils. Feel the air touch the back of your throat. Stay with your breath as it flows in through your lungs. And as you fill up the balloon inside your belly, feel yourself slip all the way in. Hold your breath, but hold it only for as long as it feels easy, followed by a really long, really slow exhale. With your next big breath, as you dive deep into you, take a moment to really welcome yourself to this body. Wrap your arms around this body for a moment and have a quick conversation. Say, "Hello, body. I really love having you." Take your next big breath. Our journey of the senses starts at the top with our eyes and then works its way through our bodies. This practice, very simply, is an opportunity to step into the observer, which almost feels like a step back, able to observe without reaction what this body is experiencing. So let's take the opportunity to simply be the observer. With your next big breath, as you dive deep into you, what would be a really obvious thing that you would see if you were to open your eyes? It doesn't matter what you choose. Just choose something obvious. And then, with your eyes closed, as you take a deep breath, as you dive deep inside, use your mind to study this obvious object. See it from all of its angles, see all of its color, and find all of its texture. Take your next big breath. Now we'll change gears. We're still staying with what you can see. But this time, the question is, what would be a much less obvious object? Something perhaps hidden that you have to find, or something you just wouldn't have noticed. As you take a deep breath, bring that less obvious object into your mind and study it from all of its angles, see all of its color, and find all of its texture. Take your next big breath. Notice the ease with which you're able to just be the observer. And take a moment to remind yourself that we can practice being equally good observers of emotions. Could you see yourself experience anger? And similarly, take a step back to watch anger rise in your body. Observe how anger wants you to act. And then be in a position to choose. Yes, I accept the action that anger suggests, or no, I see a wiser response. Let's keep practicing. We'll take a step down from our eyes to our ears. For the moment, as you take a deep breath and dive deep into you, simply find the most obvious sound that you can hear. Listen deep into this obvious sound. Find how many different layers of vibration you can hear in this obvious sound. Take your next big breath. And then we'll change gears, this time as you take a deep breath and dive deep into you. Find a much less obvious sound. What is something that you can hear right now that is barely more than a whisper? Listen deep into this whisper of a sound. See how much of it you can hear. Take your next big breath. Notice the ease with which you're able to be the observer of this sound right now. And remind yourself that the next time that fear rises in your body, it might be more possible for you than before to become the observer of how fear rises in your body. Take a step back, watch it, and feel it. Notice the action that fear suggests, and have a bit of space to evaluate this action and go, I see the action that fear resists, the action that fear suggests. But I'm going to try something different. I'm going to try a new response. Let's keep practicing. The next 2 stops, change your breathing to whatever it needs to be in order to smell and to taste. And these are slightly more difficult in this exercise because you might not have something to bring to your nose or to your mouth to taste or smell. But we can lean into those senses anyway. With your next big breath, as you dive deep into you, test your sense of smell. Is there any obvious smell you can find right now? Take your next big breath. We'll change gears, staying with your sense of smell, but this time, as you take a deep breath and dive deep within you, see if there's any other smell that you could perhaps find right now. Take your next big breath. Take a moment to notice the ease with which you are able to just observe your sense of smell. And remind yourself that you can get better at being the observer of all of your body's other senses too. The next time sadness rises in your body, you might be better able to take a step back and witness. Allow sadness to be felt in this body. What happens when we witness the emotion that this body is experiencing? It often just lingers for a while and is felt, whether anger or fear or sadness. And if we can become really okay just letting this feeling be felt, it becomes easier to also let it pass when it's ready. Let's keep practicing. Our next sense is the sense of taste, and this one might be the most difficult for this exercise, but gather all of your curiosity and try. As you take your next big breath and dive deep within you, is there possibly anything that you can taste right now? Take your next big breath. And then we'll try one more time with taste. Is there perhaps anything else, anything besides the first obvious taste? Take your next big breath. Anita Moorjani's message spoke about ego. Perhaps the collective term for all of these inner experiences that we have. Eckhart says, when you observe the ego, then you're clearly not being controlled by the ego. When we're able to observe any of our inner experiences, then we're simply having the experience, not being controlled by the experience. And this really is something we can practice, as simply as practicing being the observer of our physical senses. We can practice being the observer of our inner senses, our emotional senses, our thoughts. We have one more stop, the surface of your skin. So for a moment, scan the surface of your skin and find where is the most obvious sensation. As you take a deep breath and dive deep into you, take a moment to observe this obvious sensation on your skin. Take your next big breath. And then just one more time, as you take your next big breath to dive deep into you, scan the surface of your skin and find where is the slightest sensation. It might be fabric resting gently on skin, or it could even be the air you feel touching your forehead or your cheek. Take your next big breath. I tend to use quite a lot of time for this exercise, so we'll do just one big breath together to slip out of the breath holding space and into the next. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, feel yourself slip all the way through. There is no more attention on your breathing. You can sit all the way back, even lie all the way back down and feel yourself just floating. I'll read to you one more time some thoughts from Anita Moorjani. She speaks about ego, or we could say our inner experiences, the things that rise up within us. And her message is to not become the enemy of what we experience, or not make the things we experience our enemy. So in terms of ego, can we hold our arms open to what our body experiences? Can we have our arms open in acceptance for all of the emotional states that we cycle through, and find that as we become more welcoming, there simply is less fighting necessary. Anita Murjani says, if you deny your ego, and just imagine if you deny the feeling of anger, if you deny the feeling of fear, if you deny the feeling of sadness, it will push back against you harder. The more you reject something, the more it fights back for its own survival. But when you can completely love your ego unconditionally and accept it as a part of this human experience, then you will no longer have a problem with it. Embrace this exercise, simply being the observer of your senses. Embrace it as a practice round. And remind yourself when you close your eyes and you simply let every experience be felt. Remind yourself how you are getting better at this. How you are getting better at being the observer. So that emotions that come flooding you are actually welcomed, not resisted. But welcomed because we know that with our arms open, these emotions cannot take over. They can sit here with us for a while. And because there is no fight, we can gently decide what the next action will be. We have the last 5 breaths of gratitude to do together. With every exhale, I'll say my thank you, and I invite you to say yours. Let's take a deep breath in. Thank you for this simple exercise, coming to our senses. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for learning how to become a good observer of my inner senses as well. Thoughts, feelings, and emotions. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for learning how to find that space where the suggestion that, let's say, anger makes can be held for a moment and evaluated. Is this action that anger suggests, is that a worthy course of action? Or is there a wiser action to take? Take a deep breath in. Most of all, thank you for learning to be patient with myself. Because even when I become really good at having space to observe, sometimes I can still fall into the trap of reacting from that emotion instantaneously. Thank you for the patience with myself to realize that even though this was reactive, overall I am getting better at this. One more big breath in. Thank you, beautiful people. Thank you for being a part of our journey. Linda, a very good morning. Wishing you a beautiful weekend. Noah, it was awesome having you pop in with us. Hoping that you have an awesome weekend. Thank you, Charlene. Thank you, Sunmarie. Have fun this weekend. Recharge your batteries. And we'll be ready for the next week. See you again soon. Ciao, ciao.